Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are happy and free. These days are share them with me. Goodbye gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. These days are share them with me. These days are happy and free. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Happy days.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and too hype? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such. And this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know you can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, you can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit and let them know what's going on like that, like that. Hold on a minute, just fall on back, let them know that you're too much, and this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? You can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell, school is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song or rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now. They know. You talk about the hammer, you're talking about a show that's hyped and tight. Singles are sweating so fast, them a white or a tape. To learn what it's gonna take in the 90s to burn the charts. Legit. Either work hard or you might as well quit. That's word because you know you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you can't groove this, then you probably are dead. So wave your hands in the air. Bust a few moves. Run your fingers through your hair. This is it. For a winner, dance to this, and you're gonna get there. The move. Slide your rump. Just for a minute, let's all do the bump. Bump. Yeah. You can't touch this. Look, man. You can't touch this. You better get hype, boy, because you know you can't touch this. Ring the bell. School's back in. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Every time you see me, the hammer's just so hype. I'm dope on the floor and I'm magic
And you can touch this because Wacko in the Morning finally makes its debut. And this is a very special show here. Chuck Skull will be joining me here momentarily as we do get the show advertised here and we get the show out to everyone here. And I am finally glad to be back on doing a show here. I will be doing some special shows a little later on today too that we'll be getting into. I saw something done. A lot of people are starting to do wrestling bios now. Ever since I think a lot of them are trying to start to do it ever since beyond the success of a show called Beyond the Titantron was done on YouTube. But I want to do one here because I saw one finally do something on a wrestler that you probably wouldn't see things done on so much. And that is, of course, was the Junkyard Dog. And I just have to say that I did this one mainly to get people into it, but I also did it to also get more people involved here. I don't have the phone lines open. I will say that right now. Unfortunately, I do not have the phone lines open. I will have them open during the next show. This is a very special show we're going to be doing here, so I just want to let that be known. But the Junkyard Dog, to get back to that point there, to let people know, I had to do that because I had to answer someone on Twitter. I will take comments in the chat room and whatnot, and of course through Mixler and all that, but I saw what was done with the Junkyard Dog, and I just don't think enough was done with the Junkyard Dog. So I just wanted to do more. I wanted to do more, because I just feel the need. I feel the need, and I just think it's a good idea to really just do this and really just get this one out there. It's mainly because I think more could have been done and said about the Junkyard Dog. I think there really could have been more said where that goes. I think more people would be more appreciative and get into it more. If they knew a little bit more, a little bit more about him. I think too much was skipped over, and I noticeably skipped over too, where the Junkyard Dog goes. And I just think we really need to really be able to just look at it more and just just really just try and do that. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say much more than that. It's just how I feel about the situation right now. Regarding that with the Junkyard Dog, and like I said, really just wanting to let it be shown. Let it be shown, let it be known. That we do love we do love our still. I still have my love for wrestling. Granted, it's more the old school, but it's there. We're there. We're still there for it. And that's what we're looking at. So that's how I'm kind of taken to that one. So you'll be able to see that one. I will be doing through my eyes, and whatnot, kind of like what I did with Andre the Giant, and we will be getting into it more that way. Like I said, unfortunately, we're not going to be taking phone calls this time. It's mainly going to be me and Chuck with some of the issues we do have going on. And like I said, we're just really going to get into it because there's a lot to get into. I will, however, bring up one thing here A lot of people have been asking me about this one here. A lot of people have been asking me, I've talked a lot about it. A lot of people have asked me, have I watched, what do I recommend on Netflix? I've seen some good shows on Netflix, and I like to keep things more family friendly with it, and I did find this show, and I just decided, you know what? Let's actually run with it, and let's see what this show is going to be like. It kind of confuses me, but I figured, you know what? Let's give the show a chance. It is a sitcom. Sean Astin stars in it. He's not the main star, but he's one of the stars. One of the established stars they got in there, along with Sabrina, the teenage witch. Some people remember her that way. Others remember her as Clarissa from the Nickelodeon show Clarissa Explains It All. Everyone knows all about them. And it's called No Good Nick. And I don't know if Chuck has seen the show yet. I know Chuck watches a lot. Chuck watches a lot of different shows, but No Good Nick is a sitcom. Only did 10 episodes for its first season for people to binge watch over on Netflix. But I kind of don't think the theme is right, to be honest with you there. And I'll get more into that. I know Chuck's on with me right now, and I am going to unmute him. And how you doing, Chuck?
Oh, breathing in and out, Bob. No, that's not one I've actually watched. My impression of it, though, had been it was more like a, just from what I could see, I thought it had more to do like Call Saul or Breaking Bad or something. I didn't realize it was the family aspect.
Yeah, it's basically a family sitcom. It's someone who, they left you hanging to want to see more of it. If you're going to take the interest in it, it has her moving into a family that's pretty well established, and just basically, long story short, has basically has a. I'm trying to get it up here now so I could actually really get more into what the storyline is supposed to be. Of a girl who really is in foster care. Her mother died a long time ago. Her father's in jail. Owes a lot of money, and and she's moving in with a very successful family through the foster family, who did a whole thing acting as social workers just to get her in, just so they could try to so she could try to bleed out money from them. So, that's really what it is, and she's just starting to get attached to the family, and she's used to the family life, and she's doing whatever she can, mainly for her father, and, it's just, it has misses, though. People, they see where she just, is starting to feel a part of that family, but she's living this lie, and she's really not the person she says she is.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I didn't follow that, but a bit of Netflix news that's interesting to me. They lost 17 this week.
They lost what?
$17 billion.
Oh, wow.
This week. In value this week. Their stocks plummeted 10%.
Oh, wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, well, it's all because of the speculation on Netflix. Disney starting their channel next year. HBO Max, which is Warner Brothers, is starting theirs next year. And they're losing content to these services.
Of course,
because that's where they're getting the content from.
Disney won't be missed so much. I think No Good Nick, is just like Alexa and Katie. I think that was a show I think that was a show more meant for, I think it was more meant for the, meant for Disney. And, because Disney decided to go back to the route they were once at, that they simply opted not to do it. Here it is. Here, actually, I'm getting it up right now. No Good Nick. My computer, and I probably...
Who are you? I'm Nick. I'm here to live with you. Okay, what?
Okay, I just cut that off. Okay, yeah, just, it's about the Thompsons. They open up their home, and boy, my computer is still playing games with me. The family is called the Thompsons. Sean Astin stars in it. Of course, Sean Astin is the established star, I should say. I am trying, just so people can understand what this is. I'm trying to get the cast up here. Here are the details. Yeah, of course, like I said, Sean Astin, Melissa Joan Hart. They're the ones who really star in it. And, of course, the one who plays Nick is, I forget her name. I'm trying to, they got the three unknown, which are primarily the kids. But, the whole synapse is, it's a sitcom, it's kids' TV. It's supposed to be something families can watch together. But all it is about, and Ted McGinley is one of the Foster family, the bad people. So that's that's the thing, and that's the thing of it. They open their door up to it's supposed to be an orphan teen who says his family never guessing she's with she has ulterior motives, of course, and it's and it's just basically living a con, but meanwhile she's getting attached to the family, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. So part 2 to season 1 is coming up, will be actually happening in a few weeks of No Good Nick. So I look at this thing, and she has, for someone who should have nothing, she has a cell phone. She is managing to make money. She's doing certain things, she's giving, she's changing like wine and whatnot, because Melissa Joan Hart's character is a successful chef that owns her own restaurant. And he's of course Sean Astin's character is a successful banker. Can't believe that's what Melissa Joan Hart looks like today, too, at the same time. But she can't look 25 forever.
Yeah.
even in her teens, I saw people 25 saying, "Oh, I'd love to get a piece of Clarissa," and this is when she's 13, 14 years old. Worrying about riding a bicycle and if she's going to get her bicycle fixed. I'm sitting there, and I'm 19 years old. I'm saying, this is a kid. I was a kid saying that this is a kid. I mean, come on. But as far as it goes, it's gonna make its money. I think, just like I think Alexa and Katie is. It's just, to me, you could do better than this. Tell you the truth, Fuller House should have done seasons as part 1 and 2. It probably would have done better for itself. Instead they just did 13 episodes. It was like, season, let's change this, let's change that, and people couldn't get into it. That's why Fuller House is having its final season.
Well, that and how many in the cast are looking at jail time?
Yeah, tell me about it. That one's another one in itself. And just so people know, we are going to get to the main thing of what we want to talk about. We're going to talk more about this Netflix deal here, too. Jail time, is that Laura Loughlin, she's definitely doing jail time. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Stamos may have some things going on, because you could probably go in almost any avenue, and Stamos is doing something to make money.
Yeah.
So, you never know there. Bob Saget's probably almost like his character. And so is Candace Cameron. But the rest of them, you just don't know. And I include the kids in this because you just don't know what's going to happen to them in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, Candace Cameron, she's lucky. She lived a balanced, clean life. She has nothing to worry about. Bob Saget, I feel the same way about. He's been a family man for longer than any of us can count. Everyone knows his story. But, Dave Coulier, he could have something going on that we don't know about. And like I said, John Stamos, definitely. I mean, Laura Loughlin was supposed to be just like, everyone calls her Aunt Becky, because she married everybody's uncle, Uncle Jesse. She's now up there with Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Well, not quite. A little bit different here.
Well, of course, but I'm talking about jail time.
Yeah. And even then, a little bit different.
Yeah. So, there you go.
She'll get the rich people's country club jail.
Yeah, she will. And so will Bill Cosby, for that matter.
No, he's going to regular prison, but he'll be in solitary.
Yeah, he's older.
He'll be in the medical ward because of his health conditions.
Yeah, definitely, and of course him and Camille got their divorce, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was going to jail and wants to make sure money stays with the family. So
he may be a pervy, it doesn't mean he's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all they're doing. That's all about keeping money there, Otherwise, if he were to go to jail and manage to get out after a year, him and Camille will get remarried, and the money will be back in his back with him again. But Camille, is just there to make sure the money stays with the family. That's why the divorce happened, because he can't do much from jail. But that notwithstanding, but Netflix lost $7 billion.
No, 17 billion.
17 billion dollars
in stock value.
Well, Disney.
That's 10% of what they're worth.
I believe it too. I was looking at some of the richest people in the world, and the richest, believe it or not, the one with the most money, as far as streaming goes on the internet, is YouTube. But that notwithstanding, I could see why they would, if they're losing Disney, and we're going to get into Disney.
This is the first time in 8 years their subscriber numbers have gone down.
Well, it's not just that; they're also trying to do their own series too. Whenever they take down a TV series or a set of series, they're putting up a bunch of new ones just to have their own originals.
Yeah, but that used to be the running joke was you could pitch anything to Netflix and they'd produce it.
Oh yeah. Now Netflix is going to have to take it seriously, because now they're going to have to see what's going to be what for them now. They got to really look into the future now.
Well, because their new product haven't been the hits that they thought it was going to be. The She-Ra cartoon didn't do what they thought it would do. Just some of the other shows.
Yeah, oh yeah, we could go into it, I like some of the shows they got on there, of course, but, it's just...
I like Jessica Jones. It was a good show, but last season was nowhere near as good as the first season. But that's a Marvel character. If it starts doing really good, they'll lose that back to Disney.
And that's what they got to worry about. Disney owns Marvel. I don't think they own DC. They don't own DC.
No, Time Warner owns DC.
Yeah,
so that'll be HBO Max, because they're going to HBO Max, which is coming out next year, is going to incorporate all of Warner Brothers properties under their label, which is HBO and DC. Because right now there is a DC streaming site.
Well, Well, yeah, that I believe. That I believe. You know, I mean, there's.
Matter of fact, I just saw it. We just got it in at my Walmart. Season 1 of Teen Titans, which I was not impressed with when I saw what they were doing with the characters. And it's the Teen Titans live action show. It just did not look good.
Well, you got to think about this too. Netflix now has competition, you know, too. Not just with the fact that you're going to see all these groups doing this, you know, and that really has nothing to do with it. You know, Disney is doing their own streaming thing. HBO's starting that because cable is going to be gone real soon. Cable is going to be replaced.
Look, cable will be around for about another 15, maybe 20 years, only for neighborhoods that don't have good internet.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, most of cable's audience is literally dying off. It's my age and older. I'm 60.
I mean, I turn on cable TV. The only time I turn on cable TV is to watch ESPN or FS1, or I watch Fox News. And sometimes, yes, I confess, I'll turn on CNN.
And they've all got streaming.
Oh, I agree. I know. You know, some of them you got to pay for it. You know, I mean, you know, eventually, you're going to be paying. Eventually, people are going to be paying the same amount they pay for with cable. They're going to be paying for that just to pay for like 20 different streaming services.
Yeah.
Or they're going to just pay for something like Sling. Sling will probably be the only thing that'll give them the feel of cable, because that'll be the only thing that'll go on. Sling, YouTube TV, this new Philo thing that's now out. You know, that's going to be the way things go for people that want to have that, and cable companies know, or cable networks know, they're going to take a loss because not everyone's going to get that. So they're putting up their streaming apps now. They're doing that so they don't suffer as much of a loss until they gain it all back.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't notice. Some of them will probably stream for free because they're still going to be able to get the advertisers. So there is a point. You know, today is Jeff Allen Wolf's birthday. Happy birthday, Jeff. My hero. The one I patterned the show after. But a lot of people are asking. What's going on with Disney, and you got a great 411 on Disney, which is turning into Walt Disney is definitely rolling in his grave now. But let's go into it.
Okay, well, they're losing money this summer, and it's Disney World in Disneyland in Cali. But they're going to have the same problem in Disney World in a month or so when it opens here, the new Star Wars theme park. They have so screwed the pooch on that one. It's empty. They showed shots, even one newspaper had aerial shots of like I've been Clownfish TV over on YouTube, as these guys run a Disney theme park blog.
They
were shocked when they saw these photos of what Disney looked like on the 4th of July. It was empty.
This is in California we're talking about?
Yeah, this is the original Disney park. It cost like $1.3 billion to build this park, and they built it on the current set of Star Wars films, not the original trilogy, which is dumb. The people that would travel across the country to go see it aren't interested in the new one. They want to see they want to get their photos with Darth Vader and with Chewbacca, and they don't want to get their photo with Kylo Ren and Rey.
It's unbelievable And they're trying to make a point to a sense that people don't understand. And I knew these things were going to happen. I kept saying these bad decisions are going to happen.
They want to push their Star Wars and not Lucas's, which was the big mistake. They were feeding their ego.
I remember because when they turned the Disney Christmas theme on Christmas Day into a show instead of a parade that went on between both parks, they, the last one they did, they had R2-D2 and Darth Vader involved in that one.
Yeah.
And they just, and now they're just destroying things. I don't know if the Disney family were alive. I don't know if they would want to own Star Wars, to be honest with you. Number one, because they're known for pushing their original stuff. I think when it combined with ABC and ESPN, they've been trying to do way too much. They've been trying to push Disney sports with their Disney Olympics. They've been trying to push. They've been pushing sitcoms for a while. Now they're trying to go back and do things. That's the only reason why Girl Meets World ended as early as it did, because Disney was going back to a style where Girl Meets World wasn't going to fit.
Well, their live-action stuff is even causing them trouble now. They're filming the live-action Lion King tanked.
No, I knew no one would be interested in that. The cartoon, the original Lion King, was to die for. Kids loved it.
It was a ripoff. Even though they had ripped off Simba to make the Lion King, they literally stole that film. But how do you improve on the animated by making it live action? And they tried to copy paste. They took all of the fun out of the joke characters, Timon and Pumbaa, or whatever the name were. The warthog and the other one.
Timon and Pumbaa, yes.
They took all the comedy out of them because they look like real animals. Now they're doing the Little Mermaid, and that's probably going to tank. Dumbo tanked. Why they keep it? Well, I know why they keep doing it. They have nobody left that can write. They've got nothing original to do anymore.
That's why I kept saying and Disney at one point, if you go back, me personally, if I went back 10, 15 years ago, Disney was the only thing Disney and Nick were the only things I were able to watch, because they were not putting all this crap that the rest of Hollywood was doing into everything. Yeah. And it was just fun, entertaining stuff to watch. And it was sad that I had to go to Disney for it. And now Disney is doing it. I mean, people are pissed off with it just on how Andy Mack is, and now pushing the whole gay agenda on that show. And yet they have the mom and dad not married, living together, and that seems to be okay.
Yeah, welcome to the land of double standards, but then again, it's Hollywood. It's been so out of touch. All these people live in a little bubble. They never hear the word no. They never, like I said, George Clooney, nicest guy in the world, but he's never worked a day in his life.
Yeah, so Disney's doing this. I also think a lot of it has to do with how they want to push a gay pride parade there, and people have spoken out about it. And people are saying they don't want that. And I've argued with people over this, and even some of the people that are in favor of stuff like gay marriage and whatnot, and all these gay rights, agree that you don't take a children's theme park and turn it into something like that. And you're going to turn it into, in the end, what are you telling these kids? You're telling these kids who people have sex with other people. In the end, it's not about being gay. It's about sex that you're ultimately throwing into your park. And you don't need to put children through that. Children don't need to be force-fed that, and a lot of families have done this. I knew this was going to start happening. I talked about it. I talked about what happened at Disney World when a family, when they said about 500,000 different people, not just in America but around the world, canceled their trips to Disney. One family in particular said they went to SeaWorld instead, and then went from SeaWorld and went to Busch Gardens. They wouldn't even...
Another example, just the way Disney keeps going for agendas and stuff that are wrong. Like I said, they picked the wrong Star Wars franchise. And I heard one apologist trying to say that, oh, well, all theme parks are down. No, actually, Universal with their Hogwarts thing, which is based on movie characters that the people liked, not the new J.K. Rowling's books, which is the same world as Harry Potter, but that Harry Potter exhibit is packed solid. It's Sardine City over there. You can't move.
And that's a key thing. Universal became competition for Disney, and a lot of people tend to forget that, too. A lot of people still want to connect Disney to Universal, and they're not connected, and that's what a lot of people miss. And let's also look back, too, when they had stuff like Back to the Future at Universal, and they had King Kong there. They didn't go out of their way to change it up, to be different. All I keep hearing is, oh, well, we got to be relevant, we got to be relevant. I even heard someone say, well, look what they did on Bambi. Look what they did on Bambi when Bambi was just little, having a good loving moment with her mother, and then had to run away, and kept running, and mom was shot and killed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he didn't have anybody. That was reality to what was what always goes on in this world, and it wasn't more about animal rights. It was about the wildlife, period. And, Bambi still had a happy ending to it.
Yeah. But, you can't... Now they'd say, oh, no, that's too traumatic.
I personally want to agree with that, but, at the same time, I don't see Disney trying to go around doing the Holocaust, trying to rewrite the Holocaust. They have done movies based on Nazi-occupied countries. Some of them were actually make-believe and were not as not graphic at all. It just had to do between one family and a Nazi member that was ultimately staying there, and ultimately in the end, she helped save the horsemen that would normally go around an alarm clock because they didn't want their little trademark theme there to be used just to make bullets for the Nazis. And in the end, a Nazi lieutenant helped them keep it there, and ultimately when they said they were going to shoot people, he had to shoot the person, and he set it up to where it was, the bullet didn't come out, and he faked being killed and got up, they don't see that aspect of it, that they did not go through the graphic end of things with the Nazis. They didn't show killing. They didn't show the traumatic side there. But Disney Walt always showed, and so did Roy, for that matter, when those two were running things, and even the Disney family, even before they sold it to before it became Buena Vista and what it is now, that it was that you can do all this stuff without trying to turn it into Schindler's List.
Yeah. And like I said, they just keep making big, dumb as dirt mistakes. And they've run the company's reputation right into the toilet.
People just don't get it. That's what's destroying them. I got the Disney Now app on my thing. I only watch 2 shows on Disney. The only 2 shows that I can stand. I can't even watch Hannah Montana on there because of what Miley Cyrus turned into. I get turned off by it. I watch the Sweet Life series, and I watch Kickin' It from Disney XD. And those are the only 2 shows I'm able to watch. I'm able to watch where Disney goes. Otherwise, I'm a say no to Disney person. If the Disney app were to start saying you got to start paying for this service, I'd cut the app off because I'm not going to make those guys richer. I don't. I think we should not be force feeding our kids like this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they just, like I say, they're relying on people like Tim Burton to be creative. Tim Burton has been burnt out for 20 years.
What was the last thing Tim Burton did that was even worth anything? Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah. Honestly. Well, no, something I worked on, Ed Wood.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Yeah, Ed Wood, was pretty good too. I'll give that one. That one's good.
I got Mark Landau, a Best Supporting Actor for playing Bela Lugosi.
I think, tell you the truth, I think Johnny Depp should have won Best Actor for that one because he basically had to play Ed Wood, and they were making the movie in black and white, and they were making it like an Ed Wood movie would be, with some very, very bad acting, and he basically had to play a bad actor.
Well, I don't think he had to stretch that far myself, but that's my personal opinion of Depp.
See, I liked him in stuff like What's Eating Gilbert Grape and whatnot, where he could really expand himself. And I thought some of the characters he did on 21 Jump Street were pretty good for someone who had to be an undercover cop. So I might be overrating, and I admit I might be overrating Johnny Depp a little bit there. But
yeah. Look at the people that stole that film out from under him in Ed Wood. Bill Murray stole every scene he was in. Playing. Oh, damn it! I play the guy on my old time radio show. Ortho, the keyboard player, the gay guy.
I know you're talking about there. Yeah, I even thought. Because he did he was the keyboard player for Boston Blackie. That's why they had such long organ pieces in there. This guy was trying to be Liberace. And Bill Murray played him in the film, and Bill Murray stole every scene he was in. Oh yeah, you're 100% right.
Martin Landau, same thing. Landau stole every scene he was in.
People talk about Ed Wood all the time too. It's just for Ed Wood. They talked about some of the things he did. He did a movie called Jailbait before the Jailbait. Most people remember that had a former Power Ranger doing it.
Ed Wood, he goes back to the 50s and that. And he did Glenda Glenda and Plan 9 from Outer Space. All these really bad movies.
Oh yeah, he gets it for a lot of people tried to say Plan 9 from Outer Space was the movie most people will remember him for. I like in the movie. Personally,
that was the thing that got him noticed in like film critic books and that, because a couple of film critics rated Plan 9 from Outer Space the worst film ever made. So that film did make him, but it also brought out Tor Johnson, the sweetest angel, who was a pro wrestler who became an actor with Ed Wood, went on to other things, and the Tor Johnson mask that was taken from Plan 9 for like 30, 40 years was the best-selling mask in the history of Halloween.
Well, I remember George the Animal Steel playing that role, and I just heard how his voice sounded in that one, and I started to laugh my butt off because I'm like, his voice doesn't sound like that. It was so deep and whatnot, and I'm like, if you actually... what he was doing was an imitation of Tor Johnson's voice. That's the thing. He wasn't doing his voice. He wasn't playing George the Animal Steel. He was playing Tor Johnson. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm getting his movie up here right now just to just to get all the actors that he did work with, and whatnot, you know. And I mean, I'll tell you, I remember we were watching Bride of the Monster and Planet Nine from Outer Space, me and a friend, and oh my God, you don't know how much we were laughing at the way some of the scenes were done, how some of the acting was done, some of the words that were said, and all we said was, all the way up here is Steven Spielberg in directing. All the way down here in directing and producing is Ed Wood.
Yeah.
I said, can you imagine what this movie would, Plan 9 from Outer Space, would look like if Steven Spielberg did it? And then, you know, and they said, people said it would be hard to describe, but then we said, imagine what Ed Wood would look like doing Jurassic Park. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, they got, they got their things. They got their things to worry about. And we are going to take our commercial break, and we will get into the second thing. But in the end, that's what Disney is turning into. Disney is really going to start looking like they're doing Ed Wood movies real soon. If they keep taking losses, all their movies that are supposed to be their top movies are going to start become B movies.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, I thought,
like I said, they're doing all these remakes, live action remakes of animation, which is dumb. Aladdin tanked. Matter of fact, you walk into Walmart right now, you'll find, even though Aladdin's only been out, a couple of weeks? All the toys are marked down. All the Aladdin toys are marked down. They're all on rollback.
Well, believe it or not, Netflix actually already has Mary Poppins Returns streaming on there.
Oh, yeah. That's already on sale. Yeah, you can grab that under $20 right now.
I mean, some of these are like... people, trying to say, oh, this movie came out, It's like, oh, I've seen Lion King before, it's a beautiful movie. It's like, oh, no, you gotta see this one. I was like, people are like, oh, I didn't know about that one. It's like trying to compare the first 4 Police Academy movies and then saying, oh, well, they got Police Academy 7, Mission to Moscow, which no one really knows about.
Yeah. No, they don't.
That's how much of a fall Disney has taken. I mean, if you're going to take over Disney, you better do your homework on Disney, because because if you can be a big fan all you want to, but before you try and make changes, you got to make sure they're going to be the type of changes Walt Disney would do. And Walt Disney, Walt Disney was a man who changed the world of animation. In fact, he perfected the animation department for Hollywood. Period.
Pretty much.
So he was ahead of his time. He knew where things were going to happen, where they weren't. But Walt Disney, one thing about Walt Disney was, he protected the children, even the children he had working for him. I mean, look what just recently happened to, and this is the first time I'm bringing it up, look what happened to, what's his name, the kid that just passed away.
You broke up there, Bob.
Look what happened to the kid that just passed away. It's just, we just lost. You have a kid who, a Disney actor who died, and he was only 20 years old, and his death was a lot of people are saying was a suicide, and truthfully, he just didn't wait. He simply died in his sleep after having a seizure. He had medical issues, and they were overworking him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people got to look at this thing for what it was. I mean, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else about it than the fact that this is how kids are overworked. Look what, and before people sit there and try and say, "Oh, Disney doesn't do that," look what happened to Demi Lovato. She had to record music. She had to record music. She had to make movies. She had to do a TV show. She had to go on tour with her music, with the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, it became too much of a factory attitude.
Yeah, it did. I mean, people just don't see it. I mean, the other person that was very big with Ed Wood's movies was of course Vampira.
Yeah, she just passed away recently, I think.
Yeah, she died in 2008. She had a radio series.
Dragon knew her.
She did radio and TV. Actually, she was the horror queen back in the day.
Oh yeah, but she's where Elvira got her shtick. Matter of fact, she lost that lawsuit against Elvira.
Oh, I remember that. They talk about that. She talks about the things she did. She even talked about trying to reinvent herself after everything, but of course Elvira came in, got that shtick, and they did what they did. I mean, I wonder if there is an interview with her I could actually look at. I'm sure there's some interviews done with her before she passed away. Hell, they were able to find Fay Wray a year before she passed away. All they did was introduce her out in the crowd for the Emmys, or the Grammys, excuse me. No, the Emmys, the Oscars. La, there I am.
Yeah.
My name is Bob. What's your birth effect? Yeah, they show her in the later years. She did a lot of different things. They talk about her lawsuit, which she lost. Talk about her being close friends with James Dean.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the person a lot of people talk about in James Dean that he had a relationship with, because they always show a fictitious character of sorts in James Dean. One of them included a woman, and they don't, but they do go to Pierre Angeli. Yeah. They said something about her in a public radio documentary. Vampira and Me, the author, issued Hopper's description. Dennis Hopper, that is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Vampira, sidekick Jack Simmons, and fool Boris Karloff, Frankenstein's makeup vice friendship. The documentary described a production promo Warner Brothers achieving a sighting of visit from Vampira while Dean was making Rebel Without a Cause.
Or Clue.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, James Dean will look like that, man, because of the way he passed away. And I'm a big-time James Dean fan. Of course, talk about her marriages. Dean Reiser, her first husband was Dean Reiser, a former child actor in silent films. Later, the screenwriter, a Dirty Harry. Her second husband she married in 1958 was young actor John Brinkley. Should have married Elvis. Or yet, in 1958, Richie Valens was pretty big. Should have just put him with him because he was a 17-year-old kid, and boy, that would have put him in hot water with Donna. Donna Lightwing Fox, if you're listening to this, Valens family, if you're listening, I'm only kidding. I got a lot of I got a lot of respect for the kid. He took care of his for the little time he had. He took care of his family, which he wanted to do. So I got respect for Richie.
Yep, you weren't saying, you were just saying.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah. But it's the rock and roll industry back then was still trying to keep an innocence. If it were the rock and roll industry from like the '80s on up to now, and you had or even the '70s, and you had a Richie Valens, they would have put her with someone like Vampira in a heartbeat. Hell, they would have put her with you can sell Elvira if you really want. Yeah, I'm looking at Elvira without all the makeup on, just being herself.
Oh yeah,
Cassandra Peterson, and in 2011, and she was in her late 50s by then. She's 67 today, and oh my God, she doesn't look too bad for someone that was in her late 50s there. But I'm sure, if she put the makeup and all that back on, she could still pull off Elvira.
Well, let me put it this way: look how old she was when she did the movie, and she still looked good.
Oh, I know. Elvira, she's... See, a lot of people get them mixed up because Vampira, even though she was a pretty lady back then, she was a lot... The difference between her and Elvira was pushing sex appeal. She was wearing stuff... and say quite exactly. Successfully. Well, hearing her with Jesse Ventura at WrestleMania 2, which a lot of people consider the worst WrestleManias of all time, with the way they did it, Jesse Ventura would act like he's the big star along with her, and Elvira would come up with something on him real good, and I'm glad they didn't have it on them because those two were probably having to giggle, and Lord Alfred Hayes was probably going to have to carry them. He's like, "You jealous because you don't have your own cartoon series? You better watch it there, Elvira. You won't be going out with me later."
Yeah.
and then he goes on. It's like, "Don't worry, you'll have to take me on." One day Hulk Hogan will have to take me on, and I'm going to get that title. And then Elvira just comes back. "If you do that, then I'll go out with you." It was just real good. If Jesse Ventura wasn't in movies himself, he would have had a hard time with that one. He would have had a hard time. Even Wacko Bob, the heel character doing wrestling shows now, would have had a hard time dealing with that one. I would have been cut down to size and probably fired, and Elvira hired.
In a heartbeat.
She would have been the first. She would have been the first.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and I would have looked like crap. Vince McMahon would say, "You look like absolute bleep with what Elvira did to you. This is our biggest show. You're supposed to be a self-proclaimed celebrity. You're supposed to be getting over, and you got beat by her. She's going to be doing your commentary job. You're fired." They probably wouldn't even give me my last check because I would have been that. She was that.
I just would have bounced.
Yeah, it was just because Elvira, because I start noticing that humor and whatnot, and I just can't help but laugh. I literally go back to old Coliseum videos, old primetime wrestling and wrestling challenge shows when Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were together, or even with stuff Bobby Heenan did with Mean Gene Okerlund, because it was all hilarious. They all had to be straight faces. But yeah, Elvira pulling that off. She would have been the first female commentator long before they decided to do it with Blondie, who God knows how long she's going to stay because she's got to be with her husband John Moxley.
Yeah, see, here's how bad wrestling's gotten. I have no idea who you're talking about because I have not even watched in years now.
I sometimes wait a couple weeks, and then I'll just start watching. Then I'll just go to Hulu and just get the 90-minute shows of Raw and SmackDown. I'll just catch myself up that way. The only time I ever get WWE is when it's WrestleMania time. It's the only time. WrestleMania sells itself.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, that's just that.
And the last WrestleMania I watched was the one with Sting.
Yeah, that one was just to recreate the Monday Night Wars. I think they should have given Sting.
They should have let Sting win that one.
Yeah, they should have just, if they, because he wanted to face Taker. I think they should have, if they weren't going to do it there, then they should have done it by SummerSlam.
That's when they should have beat him and Taker.
Yeah,
Taker win.
Oh yeah, Sting would have accepted a loss to Taker easily, because Sting was at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have done it. Instead, Sting had to break his neck, and they're going to try and hold off for another year doing Sting versus Taker, and it didn't work out.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was just recreating the Monday Night Wars. Triple H was going to get the win, which I knew he would. The sledgehammer against the bat. You had the NWO come out for Sting. You had the DX come out for Triple H.
Yeah.
And X-Pac stayed a part of DX and not the NWO. But anyways, we are going to take our commercial time out here. We come back. We are going to get more into it. You got any questions about Disney? We did not jump into Disney that badly, but, and believe me, if people will say we did, believe me, we didn't.
No, not at all.
I'm out.
Because there's some worse things in the damn Star Wars park.
Yeah. So believe me, we have not jumped on Disney that bad. So we are going to come back here with after we take our commercial time out. When we come back, we will get more into what we want to getting into now here. There's something people need to know on the political side coming up on this election year. We'll be right back.
Is open daily. Ride the wave into cool summertime family fun. From the lazy lagoon to the dragon slide, the new wave pool to the dive of the avalanche, there's something for everyone. Purchase your season pass now for only $63.95. Includes daily admission, locker and tube discounts, special meal deals, and one free day pass. Order online at waterworkspark.com.
Your summertime happy place is
Waterworks Park.
the coolest place in Reading.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions, the place to be if you are into anything aquatic. Nelson Fletcher, owner and operator, has years of experience and wants to help you better achieve your aquatic needs and goals. So if you're an aquatic hobbyist and enthusiast, please visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today. Their public auctions provide a venue to remarket all aquatic-related products, services, and equipment. If you are just starting out in the hobby, the site has a tack room where you can converse with other aquatic hobbyists like yourself. Canadian Aquatic Auctions is the eBay of everything aquatic. So visit Nelson at his site at www.aquariumauctions.ca or go check out his Facebook page as well at www.facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships that are based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
professional wrestler? Then what are you waiting for? Join the PCW Work Farm now. Quality instructors, live monthly shows, classes every Wednesdays and Sundays, and with the most affordable rates in the United States, PCW has been Northern California's #1 force in sports entertainment for the last 17 years. Pro Championship Wrestling, because it's time.
Skis Watch and Clock, 106 West Central Avenue, Winter Haven, Florida, 33880. Located downtown across from the main post office. When you're short on time, he's right on time. For all of your watch, clock, sales, and service needs, call Skis, 863-294-5630. Sales, service, free estimates, and reasonable rates. That's 863-294-5630 for Skis Watch and Clock.
Do you want to capture the best memories you can? Is wanting to preserve those memories your goal? Do you want your memories to last a lifetime? Do you want your memories to look beautiful in pictures? Well, if you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place that you can save those treasures for a lifetime. Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers is your solution for capturing your favorite moments and memories like birthdays, graduations, weddings, family portraits, single shots, and more. She can also capture the finest scenery shots around and make them available all across the country and around the world at a price that can suit your budget. So if you're looking for the right photographer that can preserve your legacy, look no further than Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography. Call Abby at 541-890-4657 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work is displayed there. Feel grateful for the memories captured by Grateful Heart Photography.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together. This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
All right, and we are back. Myself and Chuck are here, and I just had to play that one, Chuck. I had to play it.
Yeah, well, we are about to talk about idiots on parade.
Yeah, we definitely are, and I'm surprised that these women did not get themselves in some of these big parades. Go and see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, because Dress for Success, I figured, was the perfect song for these women, and I know you'll probably agree too, because their success is going to have to come in different ways. I think one of them is going to wind up being a bartender again.
Yeah, because she's about to... she's got a real stiff challenge. We're talking about AOC here. We're talking about the squad, which crew of 4 idiots that is destroying the Democratic Party and destroying any chances they have of getting Trump out of office. Because Trump is playing them like a cheap harmonica and hitting every note. Everybody got bent out of shape about the tweets he made last week, and they didn't even see what was happening. To begin with, yeah, and his truly beautiful thing.
You know what the crazy part is? Is AOC thinks she could be a mayor and wants to run for mayor. Does she know that she cannot be both? She's crazy enough to think that she could be both a mayor and a congresswoman at the same time.
Yeah, well, once again, we're not talking about an MIT grad here. We are talking about AOC.
Yeah.
If any dumber would need crib notes to breathe. She thinks she's on MTV.
Yeah, I mean, she sits there. She thinks she's the sex symbol of politics now. She puts on her glasses, thinks she looks smart. I mean, I was watching her be pounced by people in government that know what they're doing in different departments, and she can't get one thing right. She wants to ask all these questions. I remember her doing a home video where she says, where just to make up for the fact that she didn't know the 3 branches of government, talk about what Trump needs to do. And he says on the executive side, now she wants to say it because she couldn't say executive, legislative, judicial. Executive being the president, legislative being the House of Congress, judicial being our Supreme Court. She couldn't get those themes right at all. And she's trying to do certain, and now she's trying to make herself out more than what she is after all her screw-ups. And she's questioning these people, trying to go through all this, and she's just not. And she can't get it right once. She got put in her place so many times that it's not even funny. Even her own party is coming down on her. In fact, look for her, look for Omar, and look for and look for Pelosi. Look for those 3 to be without jobs real soon. And there's probably another 2 more of these
Pelosi
women.
will still be a senator, but she won't be the Speaker of the House.
Oh, she definitely won't be that, and I don't think she'll ever be that ever again.
Which is something we had all hoped earlier, but...
Yeah, she'll never be it again. When they gave that's the biggest mistake of the Democrats. When they took over the House, their biggest mistake was putting her back in the position, and that's what messed her up.
Once again, back to Trump playing these fools like the idiots they are. Last weekend was beautiful. But just last week, AOC was calling Pelosi a bigot and a racist for attacking women of color because she was telling the squad, think before you tweet, right? Because they do some stupid stuff Prime example would be AOC's video "Help, There's a Monster in My Apartment" video that she posted herself because she'd never seen a garbage disposal before at nearly 30 years old. Did not know what a garbage disposal was. And this woman's going to tell me about plumbing at a ICE detention center, which, hey, guess what, folks? Yeah, they were drinking out of the same room that the toilet was in, because the water fountain, when you build things modular, the water fountain was above the toilet. ICE has already put out a video showing how full of crap she was.
I mean,
anyway, so Pelosi tells her and the others, hey, back down on this stuff. You're hurting us. They attack her as a bigot because she's talking down to women of color. And the DNC was managing to distance themselves a bit from these whack jobs. Trump comes out with this tweet, doesn't name any names, doesn't specify any country, anything like that. These four automatically jump up and say, oh, you're talking about us, because everything's about them. And they just come off looking like total horses patoots. And then, while they're all in Congress screaming up and down, hollering at Trump for being such a nasty person, what's he do? He puts in an executive order saying that if you're going to apply for amnesty here in the U.S. and you come through a third country like Mexico, you have to apply in Mexico for amnesty before you can apply in the U.S. for amnesty. In other words, he ended amnesty.
Oh, the
Nobody
nerve.
in the press is talking about it. The only one I've seen talk about it in length has been Tim Pool on YouTube. Tim's a smart kid, and he's like, holy crap, he got him. the press, the House, Senate, all these idiots are just talking about he was mean to these four idiots. And he managed to do what he'd been promising to do. Cut down the tide of this invasion of the U.S.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just, they just didn't think about it. And you got Omar there just, you got her.
She's a racist. She's a guaranteed racist. But her comments about Israel and Jews. But somehow Trump's the nasty one? No.
And I know some Jews out there that just want to say the Republicans are the prejudiced ones, the Republicans are the liars, and the Democrats have always told the truth. And people kept trying to tell her, even when Barack Obama's questions about being Muslim, which you wouldn't have a name like Barack if he wasn't. He's really Barry, just so people know. Shh. But
Barry's good enough for his mama. It ought to be good enough for him.
If not, then he could have easily been called Caitlyn too, just like Bruce.
Yeah.
Just like Bruce is. But, in its seriousness here, people didn't want to understand that, and people keep telling the Jewish community and tell different Jews, they don't like you. They're Muslims. They don't care about you. What are you guys going to go off?
Well, the
the same common
Democrats
ground?
don't care about him anymore unless they're contributing money.
Oh yeah, I mean you're going to see. You're going to see. This is more proof that the women's movement is being set back 20 years. It's because of things like this. It's because of things like this. You're putting in people that would be in favor of Al Qaeda. Regardless of whether or not they hit the Twin Towers or not on 9/11. I mean, let's get real, people. Let's get real, because let me tell you, we got someone here who's actually doing things like Reagan would do it. So, and he's a heck of a lot stronger than Reagan was economically too. So, think about that, people.
Hey, look, I am not the world's biggest Trump fan. But I will admit when the man is kicking butt, he kicks butt.
I'm the same way, too.
Any prisoners on this. He's making them look like horses' asses.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this one, and I already told you.
She knows what he's doing, and she can't fight back. She knows she now has to embrace these women on the whack jobs in her party that she needs are gonna throw her to the wolves.
They are, you know. I mean, Pelosi in the end will be the only one that still has a job because Omar's going to be voted out.
He'll be a senator, but it's like I won't take guff from Pelosi until you can walk through Frisco without stepping in human feces.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Omar. Yeah, she's going to be gone. In fact, she'll probably have to go back to her own country just to find a job.
Of the four of them, she's probably the safest because she's from a heavily Muslim area.
I mean, the sad part about it is but here's what hurts her. She's normally the one who you see leading those rallies that are done every Thursday, to impeach Trump. She's the one who's got that hate campaign to impeach him going on all the time, and that's her big flaw.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, she's relatively safe because she's from a heavily Muslim area. Now, the other thing that's going to hurt Dum Dum AOC is that she's up for re-election, same as Trump. Difference is, Trump's going to run against some moron who's already caved in to the extremists and already said, I'm going to give health care to illegal aliens and all that, and I'm going to knock down the border and all that other silliness that they've already said it at their debates. Excuse me, throat's going. But she's going to be running against something that she cannot use any of the traditional Democrat weapons that they have whenever they debate an opponent. They can always go with the race card. They can always go with misogynist. They can always go with anti-immigrant. Well, she's going to be facing, for her re-election to her Senate seat, a woman from Jamaica. A black woman from Jamaica against AOC. Who not only is she Republican, she's also something AOC has never been, a successful businesswoman.
No, she's just simply known how to open up beer bottles and pour drinks.
And screw up people's orders, yeah. Yeah, go back to screwing up people's drink orders, girl.
Or better yet, start working with food and get yourself a job at Hooters.
No, she'd have to see a really good plastic surgeon for that gig to come in.
I'll tell you, though, the one thing I have to say, though, about all this is, the more this goes on, the more the Democrats are going to lose their skin in Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're already big.
Mark my words, come 2024, Trump is done in 2024. Mark my words. Don't be too surprised if Republicans go and grab another businessman. Don't be too surprised if a guy like Rick Scott, he's a millionaire, he's not a billionaire. Yeah. He was the one who turned things around here in Florida. He cut unemployment down big time here in Florida, and the man was an absolute workhorse. Had had first responders ready to go out after this hurricane, and were already at work literally hours after the hurricane passed. I mean, the type of work that this man does, I would love to see Rick Scott run. And yes, and just so people know this, I was very, very vocal about it 4 years ago. I'm very vocal about it now. This time, I am voting for Trump. I didn't last time. I did a write-in, but I am voting for Trump this time because now I know I got someone that's willing to go against the establishment.
Yeah, kick their butts.
The only thing left for them to run on, and people are going to laugh at it, they're going to say the establishment is against you for the right reasons. That would be the only thing that would help out AOC and Omar and whatnot at this point. Oh, believe me, we're not going to become a Muslim country here. We know what this country is built on allows for religious freedoms and allows people like Omar to practice their faith. But, come on, you're not going to sit there and say, oh, no, we need to be Muslims and the Christians are the enemies. If you're going to, all you're doing is creating another civil war. Some people said that's why they didn't vote for Ross Perot, God rest his soul. Why they didn't vote for him in 92 and in 96 because they're afraid he would become a dictator. Well, let me just give people a reality here. Ross Perot was worth more money than Donald Trump. He's the only people he's probably not worth more money than would be people like Bill Gates.
And then only just barely.
Yeah, Ross Perot, before he passed, I think he was worth like $6 billion. Trump, that's twice what Trump is worth. So think about that, people. Think about that. Yeah, exactly. You're 1% right.
Right here up from those idiots. Kept his promises. What an SOB.
Oh man, I'm sure he says that in laughter all the time. He says, "Yeah, I gotta be the worst one." Man, but look at what's happening there. I'm going to say this here. 2020 is not going to be pretty for you liberals. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty because, mark my words, you're going to lose more seats in the Senate. You gained a lot of seats, but you didn't gain the Senate back. But now you're going to lose, mark my words, you're losing at least 5 seats in the Senate. And if you lose 5 seats there, imagine how many it's going to look like in the House.
Yeah.
You only got 100.
I'm feeling they're going to lose more than that.
They'll be at least one step away from losing what's now no longer there, which would have been a filibuster power. The filibuster is now gone,
and they don't have enough for that anyway.
Because believe me, all the Senate needs is 60 seats. All the Republicans need are 60 seats in the Senate, and that looks like it could happen.
Yeah, because that's only 2 more seats than what they've got now.
And I'll tell you right now, the House. For every seat that's lost in the Senate, there's probably 3 seats lost in the House. So I think it's going to happen. We're looking at something here, that you guys are stuck. We're stuck till 20. We're not stuck, but you guys are stuck until 2024. And then that's just the way it is. And with that being said, here we're going to take another commercial timeout. We'll come back with some final thoughts. I do have someone who did give me a comment over on Twitter, and I will get into that. In fact, he gave me 2 comments, which I'll get into both of them. And Chuck, you'll love these. But let's take our commercial timeout. We will be right back.
Waterworks Park.
is open daily. Ride the wave into cool summertime family fun. From the lazy lagoon to the dragon slide, the new wave pool to the dive of the avalanche, there's something for everyone. Purchase your season pass now for only $63.95. Includes daily admission, locker and tube discounts, special meal deals, and one free day pass. Order online at waterworkspark.com.
Your summertime happy place is
Waterworks Park.
the coolest place in Reading.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions, the place to be if you are into anything aquatic. Nelson Fletcher, owner and operator, has years of experience and wants to help you better achieve your aquatic needs and goals. So if you're an aquatic hobbyist and enthusiast, please visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today. Their public auctions provide a venue to remarket all aquatic-related products, services, and equipment. If you are just starting out in the hobby, the site has a tack room where you can converse with other aquatic hobbyists like yourself. Canadian Aquatic Auctions is the eBay of everything aquatic. So visit Nelson at his site at www.aquariumauctions.ca or go check out his Facebook page as well at www.facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships that are based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
Dreamed of becoming a professional wrestler? Then what are you waiting for? Join the PCW Work Farm now! Quality instructors, live monthly shows, classes every Wednesdays and Sundays, and with the most affordable rates in the United States, PCW has been Northern California's #1 force in sports entertainment for the last 17 years. Pro Championship Wrestling, because it's time.
Skis Watch and Clock, 106 West Central Avenue, Winter Haven, Florida, 33880. Located downtown across from the main post office. When you're short on time, he's right on time. For all of your watch, clock, sales, and service needs, call Skis, 863-294-5630. Sales, service, free estimates, and reasonable rates. That's 863-294-5630 for Skis Watch and Clock.
Do you want to capture the best memories you can? Is wanting to preserve those memories your goal? Do you want your memories to last a lifetime? Do you want your memories to look beautiful in pictures? Well, if you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place that you can save those treasures for a lifetime. Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers is your solution for capturing your favorite moments and memories like birthdays, graduations, weddings, family portraits, single shots, and more. She can also capture the finest scenery shots around and make them available all across the country and around the world at a price that can suit your budget. So if you're looking for the right photographer that can preserve your legacy, look no further than Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography. Call Abby at 541-890-4657 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work is displayed there. Feel grateful for the memories captured by Grateful Heart Photography.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together, This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Well, the party was nice, the party was pumping.
Hey, yeah. B.I.O.
And everybody having a ball.
B.I.O.
Until the fellas started name calling.
B.I.O.
And the girls respond to the call. I hear a woman shout out.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
I see the young people had a ball push. Billy Fountains get out. Get back, Gruffy. Bash Gruffy. Get back, you flea infested mongrel. Tell myself I man no get angry.
Hey, yeah. B.I.O.
280 cows calling them K9. Hey,
B.I.O.
But they tell me, hey man, start up the party.
B.I.O.
You put a woman in front and a man behind. I hear a woman shout out.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Say, a doggy is nothing if he don't have a bone.
Oh, doggy, hold your bone. Oh, doggy, hold it.
A doggy is nothing if he don't have a bone.
Oh, doggy, hold your bone. Oh, doggy, hold it. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
I see the young people had a ball push. Billy Fountains get out. Get back, Gruffy. Bash Gruffy. Get back, you flea infested mongrel.
Well, if I am a dog, the party is on. I gotta get my groove on, got my mind, I'm gone. Do you see the rays coming from my eye? Walking through the prison, Digimon is breaking them down. Me and my white talk, short, dealing, gassy color, any caliber do. I think I knew that's why they call me Pitbull. Cause I'm the man of the land, with it to me to say, ooh. Who let the dogs out? 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 Who let the dogs out?
on, unmute. All right, and we are back, and Chuck is here with me too. And Chuck, we just got one person in the chat room that just says, I think Pelosi will retire soon.
Well, she might, mainly due to her age. I mean, there's been enough people commenting that she might have Alzheimer's and so forth just because of the way she shakes when she talks now. And
you know, some people would even try and compare that to Parkinson's, but you know, I mean, she's really, you know, how much more can she do?
I mean, we already know she's delusional, but that's a different illness.
She's one of those that, you know, is married to a rich man, you know, worth hundreds of millions, and you know, she has to make hundreds of millions, you know, as a congresswoman. You know, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, it would be beneath her to cut back on certain things. Per diems are, you know, it would be beneath her to cut back on the abuse of per diems and put things back where they belong to the people who she's taken it away from them.
Yeah, but then again, you're talking about, you know, something she's never been associated with, and that's class or honor, you know.
You got Trump, who's worth more money than her, you know, and Trump's not taking a single dime. The only time he spends money is when he has to make one of his trips.
Yeah.
But that should come out of the taxpayer pockets there. That's the president doing his job, but he's not taking a salary. And probably only uses per diems when they have to be used. But with that notwithstanding, I mean, you know, I mean, where Pelosi goes, a person in the chat room, not in the chat room, but on Twitter, says she disagrees and thinks Pelosi will still keep her job. You know, and saying that you can't blame Pelosi and say Pelosi's going to lose her job when one person, one or two people are the ones who are looked at who are most likely going to lose their job out of Democrats.
You know, the thing is, if the Democrats lose control of the House, she loses the job as Speaker of the House. And, okay, two of the squad probably won't be in office after the next election. There's a bunch of Democrats up for re-election in states Trump took.
And they're already saying Trump's going to take states again. They're already saying Trump is going to win Vermont and New Hampshire again. They're saying Trump might possibly get New Jersey this time, too.
He's going to take Florida.
Oh, he's definitely taking Florida. I mean, Florida he's going to take in a landslide.
Pennsylvania is heading his way.
And that's one of the ones that traditionally was Democrat. So people got to look at that.
Because a lot of these places where he's got to campaign, and where the Democrats have to campaign, especially the Democrats, their ideas are not popular right now with people who actually work for a living.
They're not, and that's the thing they got to look at.
Bernie and Warren, who are probably the two sanest ones of them, that get any coverage. I'm trying to think of the woman's name now. She's a veteran. She makes a lot of sense, but they literally cut her off during the debates. The network did. They just like, we're done listening to her.
Probably Kamala Harris.
No. Oh, I'm trying to. This chick's a veteran. Harris is the only thing. Harris is a veteran of is hanging out with Jesse Smollett. Now I can't think of the woman's name, but anyway, it doesn't matter because she's not going to get the nomination. She's not going to get even considered for VP or anything. Because she's a nothing to the party because she's an outsider, basically.
I mean, I remember how nuts Republicans were getting when Dole started winning the primaries, because everyone was waiting to see Steve Forbes win. They wanted to see Steve Forbes and Jack Kemp. They wanted to see a Steve Forbes Jack Kemp ticket. So bad. I'll tell you, if that happened, you wouldn't have seen Ross Perot run as a Reform Party because he would have endorsed Forbes at that time. So people got to remember that. And Jack Kemp, God rest his soul, he screwed up his political career by being the vice presidential running mate with Bob Dole. So that's all I'm going to say there. It goes as far as Disney goes, though. Actually, he goes on to say, this is the point I was making. Here, is the fact that when we were talking off air was the fact that he was also saying that Pelosi, is saying that Pelosi will not lose her job. We're not saying she's going to lose her job. She is going to lose the House. She is
for the
going
House.
She probably will. She'll still be a congresswoman, but she will not be the minority leader. She will not be the House minority leader because
majority leader,
or even minority leader.
Right now, that's the job she's going to lose. Is majority leader.
Yeah, and when she's the minority leader. When she's a minority leader, she's going to lose that because I don't think the Democrats are even going to want her to even have that. They know they're going to have to go into a different direction. All I said was their biggest mistake when they took back the House was they put Pelosi right back into the position. And that's scary to think about. You go right from Paul Ryan back to Nancy Pelosi. Paul Ryan was probably one of the best speakers we had, second only to Newt Gingrich, mainly because he's an open thinker. Newt Gingrich was the same way. Newt Gingrich was a lot stronger of a House Speaker than Paul Ryan was. So you got to think about that. You got to think about this. That's all I was saying.
The other part of it is that Pelosi now is a detriment to the party.
She really is.
Because the reason she lost that gig before was literally she was how people campaigned against her party. It wasn't, they didn't have to complain against the candidate in Massachusetts, the candidate in Iowa or whatever. They just said, hey, this woman supports Pelosi. And boom, that candidate got unelected. That candidate usually got creamed.
And the only reason she is still in her position is because of the state she lives in, too.
Oh,
California.
Yeah.
California is probably, probably the most liberal of all states, even over Massachusetts.
Oh no! The two worst are California, where I used to live, and New York, the two biggest toilets in the world. And Pelosi, literally, her city, you can go to the health department and get a map to find out where not to step in human feces. So I'm not going to take Pelosi's advice on running the country until she can clean up Frisco. Because Frisco, one of the 5 most expensive cities in the world to live in, is literally a toilet.
Yeah, and look what's happening in California. If any state needs to make 180 changes, it's California. After with all those fires and the fact that you have a governor who dried the water from your state. People, look how people are out on homes. California ought to think about making a 180 change.
There's people. California is losing thousands of people every month leaving the states.
Yet they seem to have the most electrics for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, they still got the highest population centers. You know, when you consider LA City alone is something like 10, 11 million documented people. It's not including all the illegal residents.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I mean, when I lived there, jeez.
So I mean, you know, people just gotta look at it for what it is. I mean, it's just, bad moves have been made there. Bad moves have been made.
Historically bad moves.
So that's that. Last but not least to get into, because we are going to be past the 2-hour mark, unfortunately, but we'll stay on for about another 10 minutes. This one here is telling me the same person says Disney is not going to lose. Disney is not going to lose money like you think they're going to lose.
No, they've already lost the money. But what they expected, they're already laying people off at the park. And they expected these huge crowds on a dumb decision of not going with Lucas Star Wars, going with their Star Wars. If they'd gone with the Lucas, that park would be jammed. You would not be able to breathe.
And we've talked about it here. We've talked about families canceling their trips to Disney with the decisions that they have made. They want to be PC. They want to do things so backwards from what Walt Disney would do. And this is what...
Not just that, but like I said, it's just they keep making wrong choices. They dropped over $1 billion on this theme park. If they'd just done it on Mos Eisley, it would be huge business for them. If they had the Cantina bar. But they don't even have that aspect of it, which people loved. The band of, they could have done that band, animatronic, no problem. That would have been a huge hit. What more people want to get their photo with Darth Vader than they do Kylo Ren. More people want a picture with Princess Leia than Rey.
Well, people got to remember something.
Yoda, not with any of the side characters they got now.
Hey, that's the thing I keep saying here too. Is that they're going into such a direction. And mark my words, after they do the final book, which already has contradictions to it already, with the first two, especially with the...
They're doing reshoots already on this last one. They're doing reshoots. So that tells you there's some problems with this film. But this last Skywalker Star Wars.
And they're going to hate doing it, but they got no choice. I mean, mark my words, this final book is not going to sell. If you couldn't get Solo right, imagine what you're going to try doing this one. You should have at least... Harrison Ford could not wait to leave.
Oh,
could not wait
Mark
to leave.
Hamill too. Mark Hamill wants nothing to do with the series anymore. Wants nothing to do with Star Trek anymore.
Everyone say, people were telling me.
Excuse me. Star Wars, Star Trek, to me, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, I hear you where that goes. And
they just so screwed it up from what it was.
People got people are talking about it all the time. People are all talking about how the lightsaber is not, how they make the lightsaber so many different ways. It's not simple anymore, like it used to be. I mean, it's like, come on. I said, I could agree with that to an extent.
Customizable lightsabers, okay, it's cute. Darth Maul's lightsaber was cool, and that's where all the changes started coming from. After they did that Darth Maul quarterstaff lightsaber.
Yeah, that was cool. And I like the purple lightsaber that Samuel L. Jackson had to have.
Yeah.
But after that...
who cares? That's the sad part. No matter who cares?
It's just, to a lot of people, they see Star Wars now, it's all about losing limbs. primarily arms, because they said like every single Jedi's had their arm cut off. Samuel L. Jackson had his arm cut off and was killed by the other one. It's like really. It's like really get over this, guys. The big thing I gotta say is about this is, it's like, who's watching this? Who cares to watch all this? The only respect I really have when they started doing the whole Star Wars, when they did the first 3 books, was the one who played the Emperor. The same one who was the same actor who did that. Came back and did the exact same character, and did the whole thing, and how he transformed, and had the disheveled look and whatnot, and it was great. It was great, I loved it. I thought that part was great. But I knew when they were going to do the next 3 books, it was going to be messed up. Lucas had something to do with the 7th book, but after that, Lucas was done. Lucas wasn't even agreeing with them. That's how much it was. Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill left right away. I heard Harrison Ford was supposed to be in part of the 2nd book. I heard Luke Skywalker was supposed to be in part of the 3rd book, but no one cared.
Not just that, but you take a look at some of the things. They passed up a shot to get the whole original crew in a Millennium Falcon one last time on that last one. They screwed that up, too. Now that Princess Leia's dead, there's no way to do it again.
And that's sad. That's sad. I will admit, the new characters that took over for the old seem pretty good. I like the new pilots they got for that. They made a big deal about the Oriental woman.
Yeah, and she wasn't one of the pilots. She was a mechanic.
Yeah, on top of it all. And she gets killed. So it wasn't like she lasted that long.
Yeah, well, like we both said, and also ran character. Basically, it's like, oh, okay.
The only character I didn't see return was Lando Calrissian. I don't know if there's any backstory where he goes. But I also don't think you would have gotten...
That sex life revolves around machines. It's like, okay. I
don't think you could have gotten Billy D. Williams back to do that. I heard, he's got such... He has a big, huge pain in his back that makes things hard for him to do. Even when he tried to do Dancing with the Stars, he had to bail out. But as far as it goes, I can't say any more where that goes with Star Wars. But back to Disney, I already said it. People are canceling their trips because of what Disney is doing. And Disney were smart. They would be they need to make all the right moves. If Walt Disney lived another 20 years, after he got exposed as being this, all these different aliases buying pieces of land, he would have gotten the others who bought the land around him. He would have bought them out. Believe me, I don't think Walt Disney's dream was met up with as much as it did, especially where Epcot goes. I think he wanted Epcot to be bigger than Magic Kingdom.
He did. He did want Florida to be bigger.
Yeah, I think he would have gone and gotten more property because he would have wanted to make the country go
through. That's an island. He wouldn't have given up on like Roy did.
Yeah, Roy gave up on that. Yeah, Roy Walt wouldn't have. Walt would have gotten
it. That's like an eyesore right in the middle of the park. From everything I've seen on it about that island.
Yeah, Walt would have done something there. He would have if he would have wanted to. He would have put a Statue of Liberty out there and made it a miniature Liberty Island. If he really wanted to, people just don't know for sure.
Yeah, that was supposed to be part of the Jungle Park experience or whatever, and that just got screwed up.
Yeah, believe me, these entrepreneurs that were buying this land, they would have sold it. They would have sold it to Walt, and Walt would have paid them out. Walt had such a dream. People don't know. I mean, believe me, Epcot's nice and everything, but I think he wanted it to be at least, if people were gonna drive through there on a golf cart, it would take at least 10 minutes to go through, not 2 minutes for each and every country. I mean, it's nice as it is too. Believe me, I'm impressed with what was done, but people do not know how big Walt Disney wanted this thing to. Some people see it. I think I see it, and I think.
I remember when he was first describing it on Wonderful World of Disney. You see, here's one thing. I'll give some free advice to Disney Corporation. When you put out your streaming channel next year, put all of those old episodes of Wonderful World of Disney out there with Walt Disney at the beginning and end, and all the great stuff that was on there that's unavailable right now, like the Scarecrow Romney Marsh and That Darn Cat and all the other stuff that they used to run on Sunday nights when I was a kid. You would have people going bonkers over that, and it's literally thousands of hours of entertainment there, streaming right there. You wouldn't have needed to buy out Fox so you can have the 23 years of The Simpsons on your Disney streaming channel.
And people just gotta get over it, man. The Simpsons, though, to own that now, I mean, come on.
Well, they do. They own The Simpsons. They own.
Well, they own the Adventures of Beans Baxter too. Come on, I mean,
they own everything that was on Fox. They bought Fox. It's up in the sports and news.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's just that's Disney for you.
The reason they bought it is the streaming service.
Yeah, I mean, Disney. As long as Disney stays this way, I mean, mark my words. If Disney keeps losing money, they'll sell. They'll sell.
No, they're not going to lose money that way. It's like I said, it's going to be kind of like the Netflix thing. Netflix lost 10% of their value this week, which was $17 billion. Disney stands a chance of losing that way. Not like, oh, they're going to lose everything. No.
I mean, it's just, they're going to.
It's a matter of their value is decreased by 10%, which is $17 billion. Once again, that's a number that I don't think Walt Disney ever even dreamed of using a number like that in his company in the same sentence.
Oh yeah, I mean, I talked to
$1 billion to buy Star Wars.
I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people who talk about Disney, who do talk about Disney the way it is today with the Disney Channel and whatnot. I mean, when Disney Channel became more free with cable and not a premium channel, that was the best thing to ever happen to Disney. That's number one. Number two, people often ask me, would Walt Disney have TV shows like this on there? Would he have ever had stuff like Sweet Life and Hannah Montana and whatnot? I say yes. I think he would have.
Yeah, he would have, but it would not have been as out of control as those productions were.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have. You're 100% right about that. He would have made sure that the kids had more functional downtime. He would have made sure of that. He would have made sure that things were not going to go way out in the left field. He would have been protecting the kids the same way he protected Annette Funicello when she finally went out on her own for the start of her career after the Mouseketeers.
Hey, look at the last child actor that he really worked with. Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. And Kurt Russell has gone back to Disney and done movies for him, but he's done movies that would be exclusive for Disney only.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, all that stuff he was doing. He was like Disney's biggest star at the time when Walt died.
I know, believe me. Believe me,
But
I mean.
We're talking about, here's a guy who started with him early. Kurt Russell's early work included Gilligan's Island.
Very true.
Everybody forgets he was Jungle Boy on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, oh man. And you know, when I discovered that was Kurt Russell, I have not found that episode at all.
Oh, I've got it. I've got the complete, though.
Oh yeah, you got the complete, yeah, which you'll definitely have it. But I mean, there were times I would watch Gilligan's Island from its black and white, its first year in season black and white to the rest of the time, and it was like, oh my god,
yeah,
where'd this go? It's like, oh man, I wish, and I only saw the episode once in syndication, and that was it. And when I found out that was Kurt Russell, some 10 years later. It was like, oh yeah, I was watching it. I was watching episode for episode for episode when it was in syndication, and it was on my job that I was able to do Monday through Friday and be there for it with a TV, and it was like, oh my god, when they took that away. They took that away. They really, it was like, I couldn't find that episode. It's like, and I'm saying they took it away from me because I could never find it again. I'd never bump into that episode. But like you said, you got the complete, so yeah, you definitely got it.
By the way, speaking of sets that came out, this week I did score one that just came out. All 3 Walking Tall films for $10.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's Wally World.
I remember when I got the first 2 seasons of 21 Jump Street for $10, but then that was 39 episodes, or not 39, that was 35 episodes.
Yeah, but this here it's the 3 classics. It's not the screwed up one The Rock did.
No, I don't care about The Rock.
Tall. Yeah, this is the real Walking Tall between Joe Don Baker and Bo Svensson.
Yeah, the real Walking Tall, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. I don't like remakes. Very few remakes have been just as good or better. The only one that
so weak. It just shows that they don't have any creativity left or anything like that.
And the only remake that was done that was better than the original was, believe it or not, and it was done by ABC Family, which is now Freeform, was Ice Castles.
Okay, that's not one I'm too familiar with, so...
Yeah, so I mean, that was I used to love the original, but the remake, I thought they did much better. And I think Footloose is just as good as the original. Otherwise, if you were to ask me which ones were just as good as remakes, you're going to have a hard time with me with that one.
Yeah, because, remakes of the Planet of the Apes films have all sucked. The one, you do it without Roddy McDowell, anything without Roddy McDowell in it, and Planet of the Apes in the same sentence sucks.
Well, it's like trying to watch James Bond. To me, there's only 2 people to me that are James Bond, and that's Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
Connery was the original. Then for 1 year it was I can't even think of his name. There's a guy who did it once, then Sean Connery went back to it, and then he walked away, and Roger Moore came in, and then Sean Connery came back for another, and then Roger Moore was back for a bit, and then Timothy Dalton really stunk up the place playing it. Along, and Pierce did a pretty good job. Pierce was good at Bond. Should have had it. The only reason Timothy Dalton got it was the producers would not let Pierce Brosnan work on a Bond film while he's still doing Remington Steele.
See, to me, though, I remember when he came back to doing Bond in the 90s, they originally offered it to Mel Gibson to do it. I thought Mel Gibson would have done great with it.
Nah, Pierce had it all over Gibson.
The only problem with Mel, although I loved Mel in Expendables 3, I loved watching him as the bad guy.
He was great as the bad guy in Machete.
What he was, I agree. I think Mel did. I think he did some great work. Well,
What's funny is how many of Dragon's props are in Mel Gibson's museum scene in Machete. I'm like looking at all this stuff that's like, I've handled that. That's from Dragon's place. That's from Dragon. They rented all this crap from Dragon.
Yeah, I heard. I heard that they had a script ready for Lethal Weapon 5, but after Lethal Weapon 4, Mel Gibson pretty much didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, you blame him.
I saw how bad that one was. I said, all of a sudden, Mel Gibson's just simply going to get his ass kicked unless he has help. It's like, come on, Mel Gibson's supposed to be the wild one of the bunch. I said, you guys should have stopped after. You guys should have stopped after 3.
Yeah. Some things don't need another sequel.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Toy Story 4 being done, and I know it's going to stink. And I loved watching the original Toy Story. I even loved Toy.
That's about to come out.
Yeah, I know.
Come out yet?
Yeah, and I'm pretty much thinking it's going to stink. I know that both Tom and Tim are there to do it.
Yeah.
To reprise their roles. And they even
I've heard some good things about it. And it's going to be Disney. It's going to be animated, so they're not screwing it up that way. The only thing that's really going to hurt them is the Don Rickles character, with Don being gone.
Which one's that? Which one did he do again? Mr. Potato Head, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, Roethlisberger is still alive. He could do the pig.
I know one of them is Don Rickles.
Yeah, I mean, I know Roethlisberger did the pig with the piggy bank.
Yeah.
And I saw that the Little Bo Peep character toy is back in there after not being in part 3. So it's going to be something.
It'll probably be fine. It'll be what it was intended to be, a Toy Story story. It's not going to be some oddball SJW nonsense.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just Toy Story just had such a great theme to it. I mean, they had the kid. They had the kid, playing with his toys, and then the toys would come to life when everyone's gone, including the kid, and the only one that could really imagine that happening that way would be a kid.
Yeah. But no, like I said, they did a good job with that one, so that's not a problem. I don't think 4 is going to have any issues.
If it's good, then it's a plus for Disney. It's a plus for Disney. Let's just hope they don't try and say Little Bo Peep came back, made it back to with the rest of them, and now Little Bo Peep is in love.
I thought that was DreamWorks.
Oh, the toy Little Bo Peep?
No, Toy Story.
I think it may be DreamWorks. I thought it was the other one. God, what was the name of it before? Oh God, I can't even think.
Monsters Inc. or
the DreamWorks, like you. Yeah, I think it is called DreamWorks. Yeah, with the. I'll stick with DreamWorks. I'm not going to really go back and do my research on it now. We're getting ready to end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's best I could say with it. But anyways, it's
Disney's Pixar. I'm kind of looking up right now.
Pixar. That's the name of what I was thinking of. Pixar. That's because Pixar, was always known for doing those things.
The Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 98% for Toy Story 4. Oh yeah, it came out in June.
So it's already out.
Yeah.
So it shows you how much I know, and I don't watch much TV. The only one that I watch, the only thing I watch that really has commercials to it is Sony Crackle.
Yeah, and I love Crackle. Yeah, it is Disney Pixar.
Yeah, Sony Crackle and Tubi TV does too, play commercials. And Crackle, is probably the reason why YouTube Premiere is probably going to go the way it's going to go. And start showing their originals with advertisers because they can make more money off the advertisers than they will off subscribers.
Because nobody was subscribing.
Yeah, if they were subscribing, they were doing it just to see Cobra Kai. And Cobra Kai,
hopped on for Lindsey Sterling's special, and after that month they just didn't renew again.
Yeah, I love and the one thing I love, it's one same reason why I love watching Netflix a lot is I love watching their documentaries. Yeah, between YouTube and Netflix, they put up documentaries you won't see anywhere else, unless Amazon picks it up and decides to throw it on Prime. Yeah. And Amazon Prime has its own originals, not as good as the stuff you'll see on Netflix, Sony, or YouTube. But they have their own originals too. And Crackle is 100% self-supportive. And I think that's the way YouTube wants to go. The only benefits the people that get YouTube Premiere, the only benefit is they won't have to deal with commercials. And I don't think people are going to worry about commercials if they're watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I know some people want to sit there and try and see if they'll get more episodes of Fuller House done by YouTube instead, but nah. When Fuller House is done, it's done. They did 5. They're going to have 5 seasons done in the span of 3 years. They changed the direction of it way too much. If they had a part 1 and a part 2 to a season to where it were 20 episode seasons, you probably would still see people talking about Fuller House, but they're not talking about Fuller House anymore. So the novelty is worn off, and unfortunately, it's worn off for all the right reasons. Rotten Tomatoes was not nice to Fuller House, and I've heard different people, including myself, do a review of it on YouTube that have said, the only characters that seemed to have any balance on that show because they kept changing things up were 3 characters. And I don't know. I figure you probably haven't watched Fuller House.
No. But then again, I never watched Full House.
Yeah, Full House, and I knew the novelty would wear off because the way the demand is.
Bob, you and I are different generations.
I understand. I've watched a lot of your generation stuff too, believe me. I've watched, I've watched stuff from the 60s and 70s that I loved, and you got me into old-time radio, so.
Yeah.
So you turned me into you there.
A lot of stuff I watch now is I just grabbed Sergeant Bilko.
Series, yes. I've even seen the series. I've seen the Dragnet series. I've seen the Sergeant Bilko series.
Yeah, but Sergeant Bilko predates me. Period.
Well, I know. You got to remember, when I was in middle school, people use, and teachers and whatnot, you practically use them political ways against me to try and put me in programs because I enjoyed watching The Honeymooners.
Yeah, which I've got the complete of. Once again, that's something that predates me. Jackie Gleason had those characters around before I was born, and I'm 60, son.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I want to get all 39 episodes. I want to get all 39 episodes. I want to get the Lost episodes. I want to get all the episodes they added in from the Jackie Gleason show that were 12-minute skits when they had commercials, and you'd see two of those skits per episode. I mean, they did that strictly for TV. I mean, they'll put all that out on DVD. I mean, I saw one that was a 15-minute or 12-minute segment for the Honeymooners that was on the Jackie Gleason show that later on was done as an episode.
Yeah, but the Honeymooners, yeah, that whole set is running like $25 right now, or $20. I've got it. Yeah, I can see it from here.
Hell, they put up the special Jackie Gleason Christmas show they did with the Honeymooners with all of Jackie Gleason's characters showing up on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, Reginald Van Gleason and
yeah, Rudy the repairman, Joe the bartender. Well, they didn't do Joe the bartender. They did do the Fenwick Babbitt character. They did do the Reginald Van Gleason. They talked about him. They didn't show him, but they talked about how he was at the bar buying everyone drinks.
Yeah.
And it was hard for him to just get by because everyone was going in there just to get in on the wealth. But yeah, they showed. Yeah, they did so much, man. It's like it's craziness.
Well, just look at all the characters he played in the Smokey and the Bandit movies. He started playing his own cousins in that.
Oh, that I remember. That's really what made Smokey and the Bandit Part 2 great. I didn't like Part 2 as much. I liked Part 1, and I liked Part 3 where Burt Reynolds only made the cameo.
Yeah, because it was basically a Jerry Reed film.
Yeah, and Jackie Gleason, and that was fully produced by Jackie Gleason as well too.
Yeah, but I mean, that was basically Gleason, Jerry Reed, and Sally Field.
And Sally Field wasn't even in that one, in Part 3.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't see her at all in that one. I saw the.
1 minute. Now I have to look.
Yeah, there was a woman that was refusing to deal with a used car salesman who flags down someone. The one who that ultimately stops is, of course, Jerry Reed as the bandit.
Yeah.
And I thought but it didn't much matter because Jackie Gleason carried that one. He carried that movie. I mean, let's face it, I put up, some things with Jackie Gleason in it before, too.
I've got the collection of all three Smokey and the Bandit films. I just don't know where I have it right now.
Oh, so now he's trying to find it, people. Looks like we are going to make it. Looks like we are going to make a third hour happen here. Or we're going to make it to 3 hours, I should just simply say.
It should be right here next to Cannonball Run, but I think it might be out the other room to hell with.
Okay, there you go. Oh, believe me, there was. Hell, I got some of my sound effects are more based on are some of Jackie Gleason's sayings from Smokey and the Bandit. That I've had. So, man, people ought to remember that. Just look back at some of the sound effects I do have here. I'll even get one up here for everyone to hear. Let's do that here right now for them. As we keep moving along here, folks. Because I do have some things I do have to do here too, so we are not going to be able to last long. Because, yeah, Sally Field was not in Part 3. I know that. There was a different woman. The only one they showed was Burt Reynolds in his cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the cameo he did in that one, and people often say that movie was stupid. I thought it was great. We can of course forget this one here, and I'll play it for everyone to hear.
1983 was part 3.
Of course, I got that, of course. Some of the classic sayings of Jackie Gleason from that movie. Of course, it was...
Yeah, was the woman in it. Alright. Sally Field did too. That was the one with the elephant.
Yeah. Yeah, Sally Field did too. Yeah, I think that's when they finally get those two married. So that much I remember. So yeah, anyone here, please let me know. I know I don't have the phone lines open today.
Soon as I get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth.
Of course, there was that saying.
And that is an all-time classic from the first film.
Yeah, I remember him saying that, and I was like laughing. I thought it was funny too when he said, "As soon as I get home, first thing I'm going to do is kick your mama in the butt." Yeah, so you can't say I didn't.
My loins.
I had that whole thing up for it, and then I just decided to cut it down to that. People love it. So yeah, and I can only put up so many sound effects here because they gave a special spot for it. Yeah. Oops. That one's an error for Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
So people just have to get used to it.
You dumbass.
You're a neo-maxi zoom dweeby.
Yeah, people just tend to forget, so so we did establish that. Yeah, Jerry Reed, he had to do that part where he had to be the bandit. The only thing they probably should have done, they should have probably made him the bandit before the race even started. Before the race started, they should have had him ready to go and be it right away.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
They probably should have done that, just to get the whole bandit thing out there. Yeah, and of course watching the bandit lose for the first time because he decided the Smokey needs to win. Of course, I got this one.
Yeah, those are good films, but like, wait for some idiot to remake those.
Yeah, they would too.
I know. They're going to go truly new millennium. They're going to do all female Smokey and the Bandit.
They would too. They would.
Melissa McCarthy as Jackie Gleason.
Rosie O'Donnell's the bandit.
Well, no. Well, no, because McCarthy or Rosie, either one could play the fat sheriff. So.
Yeah. Plus, if Rosie O'Donnell was the bandit, she would want another woman to be the one that she ultimately picks up.
Oh no, that went without saying.
Yeah, some of the local conservative talk shows around here used to simply call her Rosie O'Dyke O'Donnell.
Yeah, but that's insulting dykes.
Oh, God, Rosie O'Donnell.
You dumbass.
That just sounds like water buffaloes.
Yeah, sad part is I saw it, yes. For a short time, someone actually had Star Search up and would put up episodes. And I got to see her first appearance on Star Search. which was crazy in itself.
And probably extremely pathetic.
Hard to believe she got 4 wins and went to the semifinals on that year. Lost to John Kassir in the semis. John Kassir then beat Sinbad. Although I love John Kassir in the TV movie ABC did on the Three Stooges, where he played Shemp. He actually did a good job as Shemp.
Yeah, no, he did. But then again, who produced that film?
Again, that was ABC, so it had to be Disney.
No. Mel Gibson.
Oh, Mel Gibson did that one? Oh, my God. My God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that one was done pretty good. I remember when they wanted to make they wanted to document James Dean in a movie that was supposed to be in first run theaters, and ultimately wound up on when they finally got it done. They finally did it for and TNT was the one that sold that one. But yeah, we are getting there. You know, it is 11 o'clock now, actually.
Yeah.
So we are going to actually take off here.
I'll be on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Yep, Chuck will be on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Golden Age of Radio.
Yep, so we'll have a Golden Age of Radio coming up. I will be trying to come back for one more show here in a couple hours. I'm actually going to be doing Through My Eyes, and this time where I did Andre the Giant through my eyes, through the eyes of Wacko Bob, I'm actually going to be doing the Junkyard Dog through the eyes of Wacko Bob. And this one here, we're actually going to get into it. Like I talked about it before, you know, I finally saw someone that does documentaries and bios on YouTube. Someone finally do something on the Junkyard Dog, and I don't think they did such a great job of it.
Yeah,
and,
well, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of JYD's best stuff really wasn't even captured on camera, unfortunately, or at least in any format that would be applicable to today.
Yeah, well, if they would have a crack cameraman, you know, that would be there, which would be one camera showing something on TV, but that would normally be at what we know as a house show today.
Yeah.
That if they ever did get them. And there are some that are out there. I've even seen some. But yeah, they missed a lot of points, you know. Junkyard Dog's best stuff was done more in Mid-South than it was in the WWE, so
yeah,
that point needs to be made. And I'm also going to be making the point how WWE ultimately bought a few more years of Junkyard Dog at his peak because of the commercial success.
Yeah,
and a lot of people really want to try to take that away from Dog, but truthfully, when Junkyard Dog was over, he was considered to be one of the top baby faces there, you know, that when people thought of WWF from like 1985 to like 1987, so we'll say the end of 84 till 1987, it was people, when they thought of wrestling, they thought of the Junkyard Dog along with Hulk Hogan. Thought of the Junkyard Dog, they thought of Andre the Giant, they thought of Tito Santana, they thought of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yeah.
And before he abruptly left, at the end of 84, they thought of Sergeant Slaughter. Those were the baby faces people thought of. Where the heels were the Iron Sheik, Rowdy Piper, Big John Studd. You know, just to name a few there. So,
yeah, even Andre.
Yeah, Andre later on. You know, when you got into 1987, the wrestling landscape was getting ready to change. It was still going to be about Hulk Hogan, but Junkyard Dog was now to the point to where, he was past his hype. His last big thing he would do would be at WrestleMania 3, where he lost to Harley Race. And after that, Junkyard Dog, after that was pretty much done. There was no real miracle life for the Junkyard Dog. His last big thing he did that he won was at the end of that Wrestling Classics tournament that they did, which technically a lot of people tried saying was part of the King of the Ring deal, where Junkyard Dog won a tournament, beating Randy Savage in the finals. So, Junkyard Dog in reality probably got himself another 2 or 3 years of peak time, because he was over. Everyone was doing the juke with the dog, but I'll get more into that. I don't want to spoil it here, because I will be doing that one in a couple of hours here. So, with that being said, I'm Wacko Bob. This was Chuck Skull. We came on today to make fun of Democrats and talk Disney, and we wound up making a whole show out of this. And with that comment, there you go. And then some. So with that being said, we're going to call it a show. And we'll end here. Oh man, I don't even have my ending music here for Wacko in the Morning. Looks like I got to do some work there. So I'll end with a song. And we'll call it a day. Thanks for listening, everybody.